Siyaphinda kwakhona siyababulisa abazalwane egameni lika Yesu Kristu waseNazaretha. This is the continuation of our introduction to the Bible study. Remember, in the first part we spoke about the church, Assemblies of God back to God. We spoke about its leadership from local until executive, and we spoke about the services from local to the convention, and we also spoke about what do we as the church believe in. I decided to make this one separate because here we are going to be looking into the Bible. This is still the introduction to our Bible study. Now, the Bible is made out of 66 books. Inencwadi eziyi-66, eziyi-39 zazo ziku-Old Testament, eziyi-27 zazo ziku-New Testament. Now, this is not important, but I thought I should mention the fact that in Old Testament, originally it was written in Hebrew language. Hebrew language ile language eyayithethwa ngoMoses besahlala eMesopotamia, if ndiyibiza kakuhle. Khumbula uMoses ulandwe apho xa isithi iBhayibhile phuma ezweni lakuni kuGenesis chapter number 12, phuma ezweni lakuni. So babese Mesopotamia, I hope ndilipronounce kakuhle. So that was their language. That is why noma abazalisikazi e-Egypt kusithiwa mababulala abantwana abathe report yabo abafazi bamaHebherukazi. So they were Hebrews and their language was Hebrew. So uMoses ngomnye wabantu bokuqala ekucollecting nguye owabhala those first 5 books ezaziwa ngoba zincwadi zomthetho, or the Pentateuch or the Torah. So nguMoses owazibhalayo, ezibhala ngelanguage yakhe yesiHebheru, ezibhala ngelanguage yesiHebheru. But then ithi ndidlula lapha ekuthenini i-New Testament yona ibhalwe ngesiGrike. IsiGrike, it was the language eyayithethwa, ama-scholars ayibiza i-scholarship or i-studentship, or I think in our time in South Africa ifana ne-English, ukuthi ngoba sinalama languages wethu wonke esiwathethayo, but then we've got a common language which is English. And as it is happening now, ukuthi abantwana bethu, they are losing their original languages, they are more into English. So even back then, there were even the Old Testament ngoba yayibhalwa ngesiHebheru yayiseyiguqulelwa to Greek, because babe bambalwa abantu ababekwazi ukufunda isiHebheru, even though it was their original language. So in New Testament yona ibhalwe ngesiGreek originally. Also, let me mention the fact that uma ngabana iBhayibhile ibhalwa, the history is that iBhayibhile firstly yayingabhalwanga, but it was going around as a word of mouth. Abantu bebethetha ngezinto ezenzekayo, bebaliselana, bedluliselana, abanye besenza ama-poems ngazo, but zingabhalwanga phansi up until the first part of the Bible le ka Moses. uMoses wabe seyeyiqokelela ke le information and eyifaka ekuthini mayibhalwe phansi ngoku. But firstly it was the word of mouth, apha abantu bebebalisa khona ngezinto ezenzekayo nabantu abaziwayo, bedlulisela from generation to another generation up until ke uMoses waqala waqopha phansi iBhayibhile. So it was not written noma ngabana ke isiqala ukubhalwa. This is also not important, but very important for you to know ukuthi zonke lezi ncwadi eBhayibheleni ukhumbule bekuziscript ezahlukeneyo ezi. For instance, bekungekho amaphepha in the old time, so bekusetshenziswa babeyibiza papyrus, izikhumba zenyamazana, lapha bazisuke khona bazilungise, then babe sebebhala kuzo. So it was imibhalo ebi separate. uma ngabani ibhalwa before iqokelelwe. But also ezincwadi bekuzincwadi for instance incwadi yeGenesis bekuyincwadi ezimeleyo ngokwayo, incwadi yeExodus bekuyincwadi ezimeleyo ngokwayo, zonke up to ezincwadi bekuzincwadi bezisetyenziswa njengencwadi ezizimeleyo zingekho seBhayibhileni before zifakwe eBhayibhileni. But also let me mention the fact that ababhali bokuqala uma ngabana bebhala bebengabhalanga ama-chapters nama-verses. It was just like your novel where umbhali bezawubhala ibisohlulwa ke ngama-paragraphs uma ngabana kubhalwa, up until I won't go into details as to when what times la iBhayibhile yathathwa khona yaqoqwa yabe seyifakwa eBhayibhileni ngalendlela esiyibona ngayo. Kodwa zonke izincwadi bezisetshenziswa individual, incwadi yeGenesis bizihambela yodwa, incwadi kaIsaiah izihambela yodwa, up until kwazofika ke lelo xesha lokuthi iBhayibhile now ama-scholars ebelandelela the story of the Bible babe sebeyayithatha bayifaka encwadini eyodwa, and at a later stage also baqale ngokufakela ama-chapters nama-verses, then at a later stage babe sebezithatha zonke lezi ncwadi bezifaka encwadini eyodwa. Na uma ngabana bezifaka encwadini eyodwa yila ebengifuna siye khona. Uma ngabana bezifaka encwadini eyodwa baye bazipakisha noma sengathi bazifaka emashelfeni, bezibeka bezilandelelanisa ngokohlobo lwazo ezincwadi, not ngokwamaxesha ezenzeke ngawo, kodwa ngokokuthi incwadi ezithile zihamba zodwa njengase-library. For instance, even the name Bible lithathwe from kwigama lesiGreek, I think elalithi bibliothek, which is library. So iBhayibhile ilithala lencwadi ezininzi, akusiyo ncwadi eyi-1 kodwa it is the library, it is ithala lencwadi ezininzi. So uma ngabana bezithatha ke labazalwane lama-scholars ezincwadi zonke bezihlanganisa bezenza kube incwadi eyodwa, then bajonga incwadi ngokokufana kwazo, zabe ke seziyaseparatwa. For instance, now we are going to talk about how the Bible is divided. How the Bible is divided makes it easy for you uma ngabana uyifunda to understand, wazi ukuthi le ndawo ufunda kuyo what type of writing is this. Let us go straight to it. Ekwahlulahluleni kweBhayibhile sithe izincwadi eziyi-66, 39 ze-Old Testament and 27 ze-New Testament. In the Old Testament sinencwadi eziyi-39, which is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, Samuel 1 and 2, Kings 1 and 2, Chronicles 1 and 2, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther. That is 39 books. Zikakapheleli, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, which is incwadi yentshumayeli, Songs of Solomon, and then we've got also prophets, which is Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, and Daniel. And then we also have got Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi. Now this is how they are divided. The first 5 books, which is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, are known as the Book of Laws, believed to have been written by Moses, or you can call them Pentateuch, which means 5 books. Which is izincwadi zomthetho kaMoses okanye umthetho kaNkulunkulu awayeuyalela uMoses uba makawubhale. Then ndithi incwadi eziyi-5 zokuqala apha eBhayibhileni. So uma ngabana uzifunda uyazazi uba ezi zincwadi zomthetho. Then incwadi ezilandelayo eziyi-12, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, Samuel 1 and 2, Kings 1 and 2, Chronicles 1 and 2, Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther. They are known as historic books. They are about ibali lika-Israyeli. Zibalisa ngembali ka-Israyeli. So it's historic book. Uma ngabana uzifunda uyazazi uba ezincwadi zibalisa ngembali, that means izinto ezenzekayo. Then incwadi ezilandelayo eziyi-5, sithe 5 zezomthetho, 12 history ezilandelayo emva koko eziyi-5 zibiza poetic books, zincwadi ze-poetry, uJob, uPsalms, uProverbs, incwadi yentshumayeli, uSong of Solomon. Uma ngabani uzifunda lezi ncwadi, istyle sakhona, that means abantu ababhala ngepoetry sometimes basebenzisa ubuciko babo to pass on the message. So when you are reading these books, you need to understand that sometimes what they are saying or the words they are using mean something else. So you need to understand and be careful when you are reading these books. These are poetry books. Then incwadi zama-prophets, ama-prophets ohlukene kayibini, kunama-major prophets, kunama-minor prophets. Major prophets not because they were in a bigger office or they were better than the others. They are called major prophets because of umsebenzi wabo. For instance, uIsaiah incwadi yakhe inkulu, Jeremiah incwadi yakhe inkulu, Lamentations incwadi yakhona inkulu, Ezekiel, uDaniel zincwadi ezinama-chapters amaninzi ezo. That is what zibizwa ngokuba major prophets. Sendizibalile ndithe ngu-Isaiah, uJeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel and Daniel, but zizonke zifola under prophet books. Then sibe nama-minor prophets as well. Ama-minor prophets njengoba senditshilo noma ithi ndiyicacise ngendlela ethi the major prophets and minor prophets mangabani ujonga eBhayibhileni indlela le ababekwe ngayo, ababekwanga according to ekuthini ningubani oqale waprofeta kwalandela bani, kodwa babekwe according to umsebenzi wabo. Again, for instance, incwadi ka-Isaiah, it's the biggest of them all prophets. Incwadi kaJeremiah iyalandela, so kuyana nokuthi umuntu ubhala ama-chapters amangaphi, mungakanani umsebenzi awubhalileyo. So even the minor prophets zinomsebenzi omncinci kodwa nazo ziyashiyana. SinoHosea, sinoJoel, sinoAmos, sinoObadiah, sinoJona, sinomika, sinoNahum, sinoHabakuk, sinoZephaniah, sinoHaggai, sinoZechariah, sinoMalachi, the last book of the Old Testament. But njengoba benditshilo ke ekuthinini lezi azibhalwanga ngokuthi yeyiphi eqalileyo, kodwa zibhalwe ngokuthi yeyiphi enomsebenzi omkhulu. Before siye ku-New Testament, maybe let's finish up on the Old Testament and talk about who wrote which book in the Old Testament. Very importantly, maybe not important, but for you to understand, it is very important. Njengoba besesishilo ukuthi ke leza ncwadi eziyi-5 zokuqala zibhalwe nguMoses, ezaziwa ngoba zincwadi zomthetho. Incwadi ezilandelayo uJoshua, iJudges, uRuth, uFirst and Second Samuel noFirst and Second Kings, akuvunyelwana ngama-scholars uba zibhalwe ngubani nakahlehle, kangangoba abanye bazibathi their writers are unknown, abaziwa ababhali bezincwadi, but zithiywe ngabantu ekuthethwa ngabo njengencwadi kaJoshua, even though some scholars believe ukuthi ibhalwe nguJoshua, but some scholars do not believe that, but ibizwa ngoJoshua ngoba ibhale ngoJoshua. Then ama-Judges, abanye bathi ndithe uJoshua, Judges, Ruth, Samuel and Kings abaziwa babhalwe ngobani na, but some people think that incwadi kaJoshua ibhalwe nguJoshua, ekaSamuel, eka-Judges nekaRuth zibhalwe nguSamuel, then ekaSamuel ibhalwe nguSamuel, but also noNathan noGad banomsebenzi abawucontributileyo. Eyama-Judges incwadi kukholelwa ekuthini ibhalwe nguJeremiah. Then kwincwadi ka-First and Second Chronicles nencwadi ka-Ezra zibhalwe nguEzra. Again, incwadi ka-First and Second Chronicles nencwadi ka-Ezra zibhalwe nguEzra. Incwadi kaNehemiya ibhalwe nguNehemiya. Incwadi ka-Esther nekaYobhi, Job, akwaziwa umuntu oyibhalileyo. And then incwadi yendumiso, kunababhali abaninzi abayibhalileyo. uDavid ubhale eziyi-73, uAsaph wabhala eziyi-12, uSongs of Korah wabhala eziyi-11, uSolomon wabhala eziyi-2, noMoses wabhala indumiso eyi-1, uEthan wabhala indumiso eyi-1, uHeman wabhala indumiso eyi-1 encedisana noKorah, and then eziyi-50 abaziwa ababhali bazo. Then nencwadi yeProverbs ibhalwe ngababhali abaqikelelwa esithathwini. Part of it ibhalwe nguSolomon, part of it ibhalwe nguAgar, part of it ibhalwe nguLemuel. Lemuel, Agar, and Solomon. Solomon ubhale eziyi-29, that is why sometimes kuthiwa ibhalwe nguSolomon, kodwa u-Aga ubhale eyi-1 noLemuel ubhale eyi-1. Incwadi yentshumayeli Ecclesiastes nencwadi ye-Songs of Solomon, Song of Solomon ibhalwe nguSolomon. Incwadi ka-Isaiah ibhalwe ngu-Isaiah. EkaJeremiah neye-Lamentations, Lamentations izililo zikaJeremiah zibhalwe nguJeremiah zoyi-2. U-Ezekiel ibhalwe nguye incwadi yakhe, uDaniel ibhalwe nguye, uHosea ibhalwe nguye, uJoel ibhalwe nguye, u-Amos uyibhale ngokwakhe, u-Obadiah uyibhale ngokwakhe, uJona ubhale ngokwakhe, uMika ubhale ngokwakhe, uNahum, uHabakuk ubhale ngokwakhe, uZefaniya ubhale ngokwakhe, uHagayi, uZekhariya, uMalaki, bonke labo incwadi zabo zibhalwe ngabo. So like I was saying ukuthi ke it is very important to know ukuthi who wrote which book, and also before I go to the New Testament, let me also share, like I was saying ukuthi these prophetic books azibhalwanga ngokokulandelelana kokuprofetha kwabo, kodwa zibhalwe ngokomsebenzi yabo ukuthi ubani ubhale umsebenzi ongakanani na. So ndiza kufundela ke ukuthi ngubani oqale waprofetha kwalandela bani, kwalandela bani, kwalandela bani. Now the information endinayo, it is after the division of the kingdom of Israel. Israel uma ngabana engena eKhanana, wangena besisizwe esibumbeneyo, izizwe eziyi-12 kodwa under isizwe sisodwa esaziwa ngoba sisizwe sika-Israyeli esinezizwe eziyi-12 apha kuzo. But after the death of Solomon, uIsrael waye waqhekeka phakathi, kwabakhona ngoku the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. The northern kingdom was known as Israel and the southern kingdom was known as Judah. Now these prophets ezothetha ngazo ngama prophets, sizawuthi ukuthi leni prophet ibiprofeta either kwa-Israel or kwa-Judah. That means either in the northern kingdom or in the southern kingdom. Because of time, we are not going to talk about under which king, because one prophet will prophesy under a couple of kings. So in the kwisizwe sika Judah, I mean sika Israel, which is the northern kingdom, the first prophet kwakungu Ahijah, kwalandela uJehu baku Israel, that is the northern kingdom, kwalandela uElijah, kwalandela uMikhai, kwalandela uElisha, that is kwaJudah. KwaJudah kwalandela uJona, lo uJona yabaleka watshona eNineve, kwalandela uAmos, kwalandela uHosea, uHosea waphatha kwaze kwayomiselwa inkosi enguHezekiya, kwalandela uNahum naye wabheka eNineve, kwalandela yes, that is all. Sithe uqale uAhijah, Jehu, Elijah, Mikhai, Elisha, Jona, Amos, Hosea, until kwaphatha inkosi enguHezekiya. Now in the Judah side, that means in the southern kingdom, kuqale kwaprofeta uJoel, kwalandela uIsaiah, kwalandela uMika, uIsaiah noMika baprofethile in the same time, kwalandela uZefaniya no Jeremiah baprofeta around about the same time. Yilaba abaye baba khona ngela xesha babethathwa besisiwa ku-exile, that means laba bakaJudah in the southern kingdom. After uZefaniya no Jeremiah kwalandela uHabakuk, after uHabakuk kwalandela uEzekiel no Daniel, kwalandela uObadiah, kwalandela uHagayi, kwalandela uZekhariya. The last prophet was uMalaki, kwalandela uMalaki ngulo after ebhalile ethi iBhayibhile uNkulunkulu waye waba quiet for 400 years. Ngicela ukuphinda again kwisizwe sika Israel. I'm just trying to show you ukuthi ngalendlela laba baprofeti eBhayibhelini abalandeleliswe ngayo akusi ngamaxesha abaprofete ngawo, kwaqala uIsaiah kwalandela uJeremiah, kodwa bahamba kanje njalo mangaba uyifunda udibana namagama abo. Firstly, you need to know ukuthi laba abaprofeti bebeprofeta in the northern kingdom called Israel, laba bebeprofeta in the southern kingdom called Judah. That is after the division of kingdom of Israel. Now, Israel, that is in the northern kingdom, kuqale u-Ahijah, kwalandela uJehu, kwalandela u-Elijah, kwalandela uMikha, kwalandela u-Elisha, kwalandela uJona, kwalandela u-Amos, Hosea, kwalandela Nahum. That is it. Then in the southern kingdom, known as Judah, kuqale uJoel, kwalandela uIsaiah, kwaprofeta uMikha, kwaprofeta not the same Micah, kwaprofeta uZephaniah, kwaprofeta uJeremiah, same time kwaprofeta uHabakuk, kwaprofeta uEzekiel, bebephila ngexesha eliyi-1, noDaniel, kwalandela Obadiah, kwalandela uHagai, around about the same time, prophet noZechariah, kwalandela uMalachi, which was the last prophet. That is how they are divided. That is how they are divided. Let's go into the New Testament, the setup of the New Testament. The New Testament is divided into firstly, the first 4 books, which is Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, are known as the Gospels. They are known as the Gospel, and the name Gospel means the good news. So they are the books that speak about the good news of Jesus Christ. Zaziwa njenge gospel. That is why kudala bebesithi funda kwincwadi yomvangeli uJohn, funda kwincwadi yomvangeli uLuke. Not necessarily ukuthi bona babe ngabavangeli, but incwadi ezizabo zaziwa njengencwadi ze gospel. Also mangaba nosithi gospel, abanye ke bathi yi-evangeli or yivangeli. Zincwadi ze-gospel, indaba ezilungileyo, ezeziyi-4 zokuqala, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. Incwadi elandelayo yezenzo ibizwa ngoba yincwadi ye-history, ibalisa ngembali yabapostile. It is the Acts of the Apostles. Imbali yabapostile iqala ngokuthetha ngoYesu, ukuthi uYesu then bese ibalisa ukuthi abafundi bakhe nezenzo zabo zonke bayaphi, bashumayelaphi, and all of that. Then incwadi yehistory. Then incwadi ezilandelayo zibizwa ngoba zi-epistles or the letters. Zi-letter zonke ezi incwadi yabaseRoma, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1 and 2 Thessalonians, 1 and 2 Timothy, Titus, Philemon, Hebrews, James, 1 and 2 Peter, 1, 2 and 3 John, incwadi kaJude, zibizwa ngoba zi-letter ezo, or the epistles. Then the last book of the Bible, which is the Revelation, it is the book of vision, incwadi yemibono. That is the New Testament. Now let's talk about who wrote which book in the New Testament. In the New Testament, incwadi kaMatthew ibhalwe nguMatthew, incwadi kaMark ibhalwe nguMark, lo owaziwa ngokuthi nguJohn Mark. So hambe sithethe ngokuthi bangaphi oJohn in the Bible. So lona uMark ebesaziwa also ngoba nguJohn Mark. Incwadi kaLuke ibhalwe nguLuke, incwadi kaJohn ibhalwe nguJohn. Then incwadi yezenzo, the book of Acts, ibhalwe nguLuke, and then ezincwadi ezilandelayo zibhalwe nguPaul. Romans, Corinthians 1 and 2, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, Thessalonians 1 and 2, Timothy 1 and 2, Titus and Philemon. Zonke zoncwadi zibhalwe nguPaul. Incwadi yamaHebheru akaziwa umuntu oyibhalileyo, even though some people think that it was written by Paul, but ayikho into ebubungqina ekhombisa uba ibhalwe nguPaul. Incwadi yamaHebheru akaziwa umuntu oyibhalileyo. That is the book of Hebrews. Then incwadi kaJames ibhalwe nguJames, who is the brother of Jesus. James was the brother of Jesus. We are going to talk about how many brothers and sisters that does Jesus have as we are going along with the Bible study. Incwadi ka1st and 2nd Peter ibhalwe nguPeter. Incwadi ka1st, 2nd and 3rd John ibhalwe nguJohn. Incwadi kaJude ibhalwe nguJudah. Incwadi yeRevelations ibhalwe nguJohn. I think for today that is about it, just to save on our data and time. And then now we are going to go on and talk about the purpose of the Bible, and then go into different books and talk about different topics. But for today, may the good Lord bless you, and you can ask questions. Send your questions to 074 257 8930, 074 257 8930. We'll meet again. God bless you all. Amen.